Let's chat about Diddy's latest party film and what it shows. So Rihanna and P. Diddy were having a blast together, and these are the Diddy photos that Beyonce and Rihanna decided to share. Can you believe it? From Leonardo DiCaprio to Mariah Carey, Hollywood seems to want to keep you from seeing every A-list star who's partied with the infamous rapper at his wild gatherings since 1998. Recently, an interesting image popped up online from one of Diddy's famous white parties, where Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton were hanging out in the background. It starts off looking pretty innocent, but then it takes a weird turn. As the video goes on, smoke fills the room, and a girl in a bathtub looks like she's catching fire. Seriously, it's wild. Plus, we see Diddy chilling with Ashton Kutcher and Demi Moore at another party back in 2009. Other well-known guests included Russell Brand, Lil' Kim, and Chris Brown, along with Nicole, Richie, and Tommy Lee. Then there's another jaw-dropping image from Diddy's fancy East Hampton home, showing two women in the pool pouring champagne down the throat of another woman. This all comes after Diddy was arrested on some pretty serious charges related to sex trafficking and racketeering. The video raises some big questions about what really goes on at these high-profile events. It's not just gossip, as the narrator points out some pretty unsettling things are happening at these gatherings. The film hints that if more footage like this comes out, a lot of people might be in deep trouble. So Rihanna, did you ever join in on any of the infamous freak-off events at P. Diddy's parties? Applause. Honestly, this whole scene is just outrageous, and people are really curious about whether Rihanna ever went to those wild parties. I'll talk to a lawyer, a whistleblower, and an insider for an uncensored insight into the showest scandal of a generation. And I'm going to start with you, Jaguar. You've been called a whistleblower, and you knew Shay. Diddy claimed he was there to support Chris and Rihanna during difficult times, trying to get them back together despite their involvement in sex trafficking, racketeering, kidnapping, bribery, and false labor. His lawyers say he will fight the charges, but after the testimony you're about to hear, you'll be remarkably evaded law enforcement for so long. You've been to legal experts and insiders for a long time, and they believe that Diddy's recent legal battles could force him to reveal names and expose a much larger criminal network. His legal team maintains his innocence, but many people doubt that he will survive a criminal trial unscathed. In 2022, you made headlines with comments that called Diddy a sex trafficker, and you were called crazy and jealous in response. Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks? No, not at all, because he's just the beginning until he and his associates are held accountable publicly and legally, and the victims are not safe. A whistleblower and industry insider, Jaguar Wright, has long maintained that Diddy's actions were known to those in the know. She has spoken out about his alleged wrongdoings for years, but her warnings were disregarded. How terrible was it? I care about the victims, so I understand how terrible it was. Do you think what was going on? As a woman who has worked in the industry for more than 30 years, I will tell you right now that I have been performing live since I was 13 years old. My first handler was McKinley Horton, and 25 years later, WR reflects on her experiences, exposing the dark side of the industry. According to her, influential people like Diddy have used their power to manipulate and abuse others while being protected by the law. Industry insiders also told me that a scar on his face, which he described in great detail, was placed there by a woman who... It's not good enough to be taught to just avoid him, honey, when you're still suffering from the full extent of Diddy's alleged influence. He assaulted you while you were going through these things and hearing your elders in the business, like Patti LaBelle, say that. Wright adds that it extends beyond individual acts and encompasses a culture of exploitation, resulting in PTSD. For example, you are speaking with a victim who is 20 years younger than you, and she is sharing. It's the same thing that happened to you, right? There have been a lot of rumors about what's happened in the rap industry, including claims that the lyrics' misogyny was based on a general misogyny toward women outside of the music. These accusations against Diddy seem to support this, and if he is found guilty, industry figures like Clive Davis are said to have been instrumental in enabling Diddy to gain power. Wright asserts that Diddy wasn't just an artist. Thank God he will never be released from jail. How dangerous do you think he is as a person? I believe he is among the most dangerous persons. He was chosen, raised, and shielded by influential people who profited from his crimes. Many people have asked me, She doesn't really know him, she doesn't have any knowledge of him, and she doesn't have a picture with him. I am more intelligent than Claudia Jordan. Since everyone knew that he was the devil, I would never pose for a photo with him. He's been the devil for 30 years, and as disturbing stories of secret parties, drug use, and human trafficking surface, it's becoming evident that many in the industry knew what was going on but were afraid to speak out. Everyone in your comments is asking, does she really ever wear her perfume? I mean, hold on, come in, okay, big hold. I don't like this question. I feel, oh, you don't like it. I feel really offended by this question. Okay, I would. Not at all, and it has a buttery scent. Again, tell me what Rihanna's true scent is. Fenty, oh dear, congratulations. Rihanna remarked, here you went is up, have not been messing around, or maybe you have, I don't know. Why did the second pregnancy vary so much from the first? Everything is different, even cravings and sickness, but I'm loving it. I feel wonderful and energized, and it seems that your little man is cheerful and lively. I'm in love, I'm infatuated, and I don't even feel awful about it. When questioned about her second pregnancy at the 2023 Met Gala, Rihanna responded that it was different from her first, that she was loving it, and that she had fewer desires. In response to a question about the current status of Rihanna's relationship with Chris Brown, she reveals that they have been working on re-establishing their friendship. She also admits that although they are not romantically together, they still have love for one another and probably always will be, because feelings like that don't just go away, but you still need to keep it together because, as far as I'm concerned, my lazy days consist of throwing up in a scrunchie, so I always wear one on my wrist. I want it out of the way, and I want it to be on my kids when I lean forward here. I went to a mutual friend's party on a yacht, and when you see him, it's awkward, because I still love him. Did your heart do this? Did your heart do that thing? My stomach drops. Rihanna is describing what she does on a lazy day, saying that she always wears a scrunchie on her wrists. Yes, I did. Yes, I have to keep up this poker face and suppress it, so that it doesn't affect the outside of me. However, Rihanna explains that even though they are still close friends, Chris is in a relationship, and she is single. She says that ever since the restraining order was lifted, they have been gradually healing their relationship, interpreting it, comprehending that it won't go away, and realizing that it's really calm. You know you have such sensations, but you may make a lot of errors if you don't understand them, do you think? I really believe that Chris Brown is the love of my life. He was my first love, and I can tell that he felt the same way about me. In response to a question over a recent appearance with Chris in Trope, Rihanna acknowledges that they did cross paths at a mutual friend's boat party when we were both very young and we needed something to really shut it off and show us what we were missing because we were so impulsive, we ran wild, we fell in love, and we were moving so quickly that we forgot about ourselves and our own discipline. In her reflections on her relationship with Chris, whom she refers to as her first love and the love of her life, Rihanna says that their relationship flamed brilliantly when they were young and impetuous, running wild and free of what we were taking for granted, and if we really care about each other's happiness, so it's not even about us being together. I genuinely love him. Therefore, the most important thing to me is that he is at peace. I'm not at peace if he's a little unhappy or lonely or anything like that. I care about him like I do, and it matters that he finds that peace even though we are no longer together. Rihanna stresses that her first priority is Chris's contentment and tranquility, although she acknowledges that it still impacts her when she learns that P. Diddy's infamous freak-off parties have long been rumored. Can P. Diddy blackmail those people alone, or is he blackmailing for some kind of covert entity, like the Epstein grand jury in Florida? P. Diddy was unhappy or lonely, demonstrating that her care for him goes beyond their romantic past. Politicians attended those parties, celebrities attended those parties, and sports stars attended those parties, that he had a hidden audiovisual blackmail thing going on like Epstein, like Craig Spence. The testimony from the special prosecutor's assistant was calling this girl who was molested by Epstein when she was 14 and who was testifying when she was 16 like a prostitute, as evidenced by the documents released about 3 weeks ago. Additionally, the grand jury did not indict Epstein on any child-related charges, so Damon Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District, is now in charge. Similarities to the Epstein scandal don't end there. The discussion also touches on a Florida grand jury where corruption was revealed in the case against Epstein. As information comes to light, we learn that attorney Damon Williams, who is currently in charge of P. Diddy's case, is portrayed as a significant player who is regarded as the most powerful federal law enforcement official in New York. The Southern District is sort of like a special position for people, and we know that Damon Williams is in charge of this P. Diddy estate. The recent developments surrounding Sean P. Diddy Combs have taken a particularly intriguing turn as speculation mounts about the possibility of an impending indictment. There are whispers that the grand jury tasked with reviewing evidence related to his case may still be in impoundment, leaving many to wonder what consequences lie ahead. The stakes are high, and the ramifications could extend well beyond the courtroom, impacting not just Diddy but also the larger landscape of celebrity culture and power dynamics. In our current media environment, where algorithms and financial incentives dictate what stories gain prominence, important narratives can easily slip through the cracks. This reality poses a significant challenge. It has the power to shift public perception and even polarize society. One particularly captivating aspect of this situation is the renewed focus on the infamous parties hosted by P. Diddy. These gatherings have been rumored to feature hidden cameras and questionable activities, potentially leading to blackmail material involving some of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry and beyond. The implications of such allegations are staggering, hinting at a culture of fear and manipulation that could alter the dynamics of power within celebrity circles. Amid this backdrop, Ground News emerges as an invaluable resource for those seeking to navigate the complex landscape of modern journalism. The platform aligns perfectly with the ethos of my channel, Soft Underbelly, which is dedicated to digging deeper into stories and examining them beyond our own biases. Ground News aggregates articles from across the globe, providing a comprehensive view of current events. It allows users to understand the context of each news source, including its political leanings, which is critical for forming well-rounded opinions on contentious issues. The media's role in shaping narratives cannot be overstated, particularly as we enter a heated election season. With important discussions surrounding public figures and their conduct taking center stage, it's essential to approach news topics with a critical eye. This is especially true when considering the sensational nature of celebrity culture and how it can cloud our judgment. For many, the line between reality and the manufactured persona of public figures can become blurred, leading to a distorted understanding of their actions and motivations. A poignant example of this was shared by Taya, who recounted a pivotal evening that dramatically shifted her perspective on celebrity culture. Her journey began innocently enough when she was interviewing for a position that seemed unrelated to the glamorous world of fame. Little did she know that this opportunity would soon lead her to one of P. Diddy's infamous parties, a night that would unravel a series of bizarre recollections and unsettling truths about the entertainment industry. Taya's experience highlights how immersive encounters can shatter preconceived notions and force individuals to confront uncomfortable realities. The language used to describe events surrounding such parties often carries a subjective weight that can skew perceptions. As stories unfold, the choice of words can evoke empathy, disdain, or even disbelief, all of which shape the audience's understanding of the events. This is where platforms like Ground News become essential. They offer users the tools to dissect narratives critically, ensuring that opinions are based on comprehensive, diverse perspectives rather than sensationalized accounts. In a world increasingly driven by social media, where quick headlines often dominate discussions, the need for in-depth analysis and nuanced viewpoints is greater than ever. As we consider the implications of ongoing investigations into P. Diddy and others, it's imperative to maintain an informed stance on news subjects that matter. By embracing resources that facilitate critical thinking and broaden our understanding of the media landscape, we can engage with these vital matters more effectively. Ultimately, the unfolding saga surrounding P. Diddy serves as a reminder of the complexities inherent in celebrity culture and the potential consequences of unchecked power. As the conversation continues to evolve, it will undoubtedly reflect broader societal themes, pushing us to reconsider our views on fame, accountability, and the intricate web of relationships that define the world of entertainment. The path forward calls for a vigilant and discerning audience, one that seeks truth amidst the noise and strives for clarity in an increasingly complicated world. I really like their blind spot feed, which displays news articles that are underrepresented in mainstream media. Hence, I strongly advise you to visit the ground. When Tanya shares her story, she reflects on her first encounter with the Matic Prince, who invited her into a glamorous yet chaotic scene. By subscribing or even giving it as a gift to someone you know, you're helping hold the media accountable and supporting this channel. Thank you for watching. New Use Swoo subscribes through my link to save 40% off their Vantage plan. It was December 22nd. Oh, it was almost 2 and you were there when you completed our first interview. At the core of her story is the shocking moment when she discovers she is bound for P. Diddy's estate, and they didn't believe me. You were just some girl I met through a friend, right? Well, you were doing this interview when you mentioned something about me that I unintentionally mentioned too. Like it slipped out about P. Diddy. You went to one of his parties. Yeah, crazy party. And he's in the news now because of all the scandal. Bringing me up as though you were being honest, and I'm like, duh, I'm not going to lie about something like that. I tried to briefly discuss it because I knew it wouldn't seem true, because it was too much, too crazy, and people would assume I was lying because there were so many celebrities and other people involved. The scenario is depicted in graphic detail by Taya, with security precautions in place, phones seized, and a lively spirit that could only belong to. I was trying to be really vague about it because it was a high-profile G, but that party traumatized me. How did you get invited to it? By being with a prince that I met in LA. He lived in Glendale, California, and to cut a long story short, I got out of this crazy little contract and was looking for someone to invest in me. I knew someone who said, I want to introduce you to a prince. He knew a lot of celebrities, producers, and other things, and as she mixed, the atmosphere changed into something she had never experienced before. I never realized that this prince knew P. Diddy as a prince of what he was from. He was an Arabian prince, yes, and he was a prince for real. However, I wasn't concerned about him being a prince. Instead, I was worried about who he actually knew, so when he invited me to, he said, I want to invite you tomorrow to Music Ultra Week. She describes how attendees, apparently under the influence, danced and drank freely, creating a rocking environment that was both thrilling and frightening. Whatever the case, things took a different turn when Taya attracted the attention of one of P. Diddy's sons, who then gave her a pair of shoes that would allow her entry to the party's inner sanctuary. I never knew we were going to go to Ultra Music Week, which is a 2-week event where people party, including P. Diddy, at Club Live, which is located in South Beach, Star Island, where P. Diddy stays or throws his freak-offs. I was there for 2 weeks, and I knew it was something fishy. As he continued to say, I got a surprise for you. It became evident that the gathering was anything but a straightforward party, exposing layers of complexity and moral ambig. But I'm only supposed to stay for 2 weeks, and I'm here longer than 3, he said, adding that it was already nearly a month. No, he said, because I just want you to meet one special person. Then, when we went to Club Live, he asked, can you guess where we're going tonight? When I get to P. Diddy's place, I think, oh my God, that's crazy since I hear a lot about him. I want to go sing, but he says, no, he's throwing this crazy party. I'm like, well, so we went from Club Live and it finished at like 3 or 4, not 2. Tanya felt imprisoned, detecting an overpowering energy that indicated not everything was as it appeared. She thought about the predatory nature of the atmosphere and the hidden risks she hadn't foreseen. Like how out here is. So we waited around the prince's mansion for about an hour before we all got in a big Uber at 6:30. Since I'm the only black girl, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to meet P. Diddy. Oh, like I'm probably going to have to sing for him.